Well, it was a little bit exciting, to be honest. We knew it was coming.
By, I think, 6 o'clock on Thursday afternoon, Marcia had changed from a Category 1 to a Category 5.
It's fairly scary, very noisy, very scary, yeah. The roads were just blocked, you couldn't get through roads. The trees were over just about every road in town.
The hill behind me here, there was barely a leaf left on the trees there. Across the road, where there's some heavier timber, it was like a scene out of World War I. It was just shattered trees.
Power lines were down over fences, over trees, over shops.
My own home was about 2/3 completed when Marcia hit. It's a 2-storey timber frame construction using lightweight cladding, using the FC weatherboards, linear. I saw absolutely no damage. I wasn't particularly worried about it. You know, we've got a good builder, we've got good products.
We were really very impressed. We now know we have a brilliant home.
It started about 9 o'clock coming from the east here. Just when the gusts really hit, you could, if you were standing holding onto the walls, you just feel them just flex a little bit. I had no problems outside. I went there and had a look. No cracks, no movement.
A lot of structural damage to older houses.
They tended to be the older homes that did suffer damage. Any of the newer ones that suffered damage was generally due to flying debris, I think.
Prior to the 1980s, really, it was almost an art form building houses rather than a structural engineering project.
After Cyclone Tracy, the code changed along the coast here.
The BCA requirements are really targeted about a high Cat 4 to a low Cat 5 cyclone, as your house should be structurally safe up to those sort of wind speeds. You know, full on Cat 5, you might be at risk. Cyclones try primarily to push your house over. It's a horizontal force associated with the wind pressure. So you have to have a series of connections and braces to ensure basically the cyclone can't push your house over. Now, those wind pressures can present as horizontal pressures. They can also present as upwards or downwards suctions on roof sheeting. And there's been a lot of work done since the 80s to really identify the critical loads at particular locations and design in adequate strength to resist those.
To address the racking of the house, we have ply bracing, which we nail to all our walls, which stiffens your walls up and stops your movement left and right, forward and back. And obviously you have uplift, you don't want things blowing away. So we have tie-down rods, big 12 or 16 millimetre tie-down rods, which are generally, you space them out at every 900 millimetres. Either side of every opening, internal, external corners. They hold the tops of your wall plates down and anchor effectively your wall to your floor, which is anchored to your posts, which is anchored to your footings down below. So you're tying everything from the top down to the ground, to the footing. Brick veneer is exactly that. It's just it's a facade. To me, it doesn't provide a hell of a lot of additional bracing, or it's not a structural sort of element within the house. Whereas the Hardie's claddings, these things, they're nailed off at every stud, and you've got hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of linear metres of the stuff going around your house. You know, your engineer designs your house to a set amount of bracing requirement. This stuff isn't taken into account. You've got a house that is already adequately braced. When you add this stuff, linear or whichever product you use to it, the additional bracing you get out of that is phenomenal.
They're gutsy products. They really did look like weatherboards. You know, they're not thin sheet materials. They're nothing like the old fibre cement sheet from, you know, the 80s and the 70s. You know, these things looked and felt like weatherboards, and I'm very pleased to say they still look like weatherboards when they're up on the house.